written reports are paid for. So that's one more occurrence. If you look at this video, the consulting video that talks about the American tragedy in the family court system, there is no incentive to settle the case. There's every incentive. They deliberately put the children in the most abusive environment, hoping to continue to get everybody paid, an evaluator paid, which that showed up eventually, and Patricia Lee, the corrupt social worker, crime occurred in stealing someone's identity. That person is outraged. She referenced the very people that we had already proven had committed malpractice against us, Department of Human Services, and the corrupt custody master, having already made up her mind that she was going to align herself through the relationship, the favorite relationship with the private counsel, Timothy E. Possenti, Esquire, PC, had already made up her mind that she was going to take the kids from the protective plaintiff grandparents, block all chance for them to have any education whatsoever, dooming them to a life of poverty and street crime by putting them in with an illiterate woman girlfriend, recent girlfriend of a parent who's already addicted, into the girlfriend's house because they showed pictures of how the house was laid up, that they have a house. Well, assaults happen by older kids, of younger kids. Molestation happens. Rape happens. Malnutrition happens. Torture and mental cruelty happens. And abandonment happens inside of nice-looking houses. All right? So because my son-in-law still hasn't received health care, drug and alcohol treatment, which the American Medical Association defines one of the characteristics of the disease of addiction, which they totally ignored all the proofs that he has the disease, that he's already been diagnosed with this disease. One of the characteristics is compulsive behavior, self-destruction through compulsive behavior. And we had 47 pages of proof that he leaves for 3 and 4 days at a time, and one time 3 weeks at a time, and that he gets threatened by drug dealers, and his whole family gets threatened to be kidnapped by drug dealers, right? But that was music to the corrupt machine's ears, because with the incentive being, if you'll listen to this video about the American tragedy of the family court system, they said, oh, we have an abusive situation here, and we have a protective parent or a protective grandparent that will never stop fighting. We'll be able to get everybody paid. Let's see. The baby Ezekiel is 3 years old. The youngest is 1 year old. Everybody's going to get paid for at least 15 years, right? We're going to get an evaluator paid, which Mr. V. Volker, what is his name? Hold on. Timothy Possenti can get paid, while the father continues to pay his legal fees to censor, quash, delay, and falsify his drug tests, right? But that's not the worst of it for reckless endangerment. The order, Fern B. Caplan wrote the corrupt order August 17th, which I told you everything why that was corrupt, okay? I went down and I picked up a copy of the order. The order wasn't signed yet, but it existed, okay? Now, on 2 days late, that evening, we find out Saturday, yesterday, so a whole week goes by, that Timothy E. Possenti, Esquire, faxes over to Fern B. Caplan positive drug results that he got from his Delaware County custody evaluator, who faxed over under his PA licensed psychologist, PA and New Jersey certified school psychologist fax letterhead, the positive for cocaine and other substances to make up crack cocaine for Eric L. Brown, and his statement that it went, and the drug analysis statement that it's back as far as April, when Eric came to live with us after being locked up. Now, the heinous, egregious, reckless endangerment and the criminal aspect of this is that these corrupt criminals, Timothy E. Possenti, Fern B. Caplan, Esquire, and this V. Richard Roeder, Ph.D., of Wallingford, PA, Timothy E. Possenti of Media, Pennsylvania, and Fern B. Caplan also shows up with real estate transactions, okay? Just they are so pompous and so arrogant and believe and so recklessly endangering of our children that they believe they will never be held personally or individually accountable, and their bank accounts will never be attached for recklessly endangering our grandchildren, because Timothy E. Possenti, 2 days after the order was written and signed by Judge Lisette Shirdan-Harris, who is yet to be seen whether or not she takes responsibility, but her name is in our database as well for having to hold personal accountability as well. Each judge, each administrative judge, and in this case the chief administrative judge is Kevin Dougherty in our family court, these people will all have to take responsibility for either proactively being accessory in recklessly endangering children, our grandchildren, or they will have to take responsibility for being accessory if they looked the other way, knew what was going on, didn't read what they were signing, and didn't read the integrity, didn't look into the integrity of whether or not they were signing something that took the evidence into consideration and everybody's rights were considered. So the way that they are wielding this corrupt machine, each individual will be held individually accountable as criminals. There's crimes for assault. There are penalties for assaulting people. And when you get judgments and when you get orders, right, and because you could show it, when you get these judgments and orders, you attach their personal bank accounts, their vehicles, their real estate, and you go after their garnish sheet. You send it to the orders, to the judgments to their employers, and you garnish their wages, and you get orders of restitution and crime victim compensation, because we are victims of crime. So going further, he actually is so egregious that he's telling this custody master, Caplan, who's going along with it, that there's no need to reverse the order. Yeah, I know he's dirty. I know he's got cocaine in his system, right? However, we would like to wait until the next court date because he's adamant that he hasn't used in 6 months. He's adamant. Let me tell you something about the disease of addiction. All active addicts will be adamant that they didn't use. Not one person. We can be heard asking each person what they know about the disease of addiction, and Fern B. Caplan could be heard saying, "I didn't even read that. I didn't even read that. I didn't even read that." We wrote a letter to the Supreme Court Justices Breyer and Esquire reporting how our constitutional rights were being violated in this process. She said, "I didn't even read that." And she's heard on this digital file saying, "I didn't even read that." She's heard on this digital file saying, "I don't care anything about what happened in Judge D'Alessandro's court. I don't care that you already proved that you were victimized by DHS caseworkers. I don't care that you're going to sue me for my personal assets because I'm just that fat. I'm just that pompous. I'm untouchable. You know, you can't prove that I'm a criminal. You can't prove the correlation between me blocking them kids ever getting an education by sending them into the home of an ignorant person who barely knows her own name, you know, and keeps in constant car accidents. You'll never be able to bring me accountable when she gets in a car accident with your grandchildren. Maybe they'll be permanently injured. Maybe they won't, but at least she'll get paid. You can't blame me. You'll never bring me accountable for IRS fraud that occurs when she steals her earned income credits because daddy didn't come home and now she gets check and food stamps for him and she's illegally documented now as, quote, the foster mother because they were in her house abandoned by a drug-addicted father. And we knew about it and we deliberately chose to endanger your children because it fuels us. It makes us fatter. It allows us to buy another $274,000 Ocean City condo. It allows us to announce with celebratory fashion and be happy about the birth of our children while we destroy your own.